Matthew 9, 1-8, the authority of the Son of Man to forgive sins. Matthew records that Jesus entered into a boat, crossed over, and came into his own city. The narrative follows the demonstrations of authority already revealed in the surrounding passages: authority over disease, demons, and the forces of nature. Now the focus turns to a deeper authority, the authority to forgive sins. As Jesus returned to Capernaum, some men brought to him a man who was paralyzed, lying on a bed. The condition of the man was obvious. He was helpless and dependent on others to bring him before Christ. Yet before addressing the physical infirmity, Jesus spoke directly to the deeper reality beneath it. Seeing their faith, he said to the paralytic, "Son, be of good cheer. Your sins are forgiven you." These words immediately drew the attention of the scribes who were present. Within their understanding of the law and the temple system, the declaration of forgiveness belonged to God alone and was mediated through the sacrificial structure of the covenant. Hearing Jesus pronounce forgiveness without sacrifice, priest, or altar appeared to them as blasphemy. Matthew notes that the scribes said within themselves, "This man blasphemes." Their objection was not merely theological disagreement. It arose from the covenantal framework that defined their world. Forgiveness of sins was tied to the temple, the priesthood, and the offerings prescribed in the law of Moses. To bypass these structures seemed to undermine the entire order of their religious life. Yet Jesus, knowing their thoughts, responded to what they had reasoned in their hearts. He asked them, "Why do you think evil in your hearts? For which is easier, to say, 'Your sins are forgiven,' or to say, 'Rise and walk'?" The question exposes the issue at hand. Both statements require divine authority. To pronounce forgiveness invisibly, dismissed as empty words, but commanding a paralyzed man to walk would visibly demonstrate power. Jesus therefore tied the invisible reality of forgiveness to the visible act of healing. He then declared the purpose of the miracle, "But that you may know that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins." And turning to the paralytic, he said, "Rise, take up your bed, and go to your house." Immediately the man arose and departed to his house. The paralysis that had bound him was removed by the command of Christ. The miracle served as confirmation of the authority Jesus claimed. Matthew highlights that this authority belonged to the Son of Man. The title echoes the vision of the Son of Man in the book of Daniel, where one like a Son of Man is given dominion, glory, and a kingdom. In this scene, Jesus demonstrates that this authority was already active in his earthly ministry. Forgiveness was not postponed to a distant future, nor was it restricted to temple rituals. It was exercised by the one who stood among them. The healing therefore functioned as a sign that the authority of the kingdom had arrived. The scribes understood forgiveness as something mediated through the covenantal system centered in Jerusalem. Jesus revealed that forgiveness was now being administered directly through himself. Matthew concludes by describing the response of the crowd. When they saw it, they marveled and glorified God, who had given such authority to men. The statement is significant. The people recognized that divine authority had been manifested in human form. In the person of Jesus, God's authority to forgive sins was present among them. Thus, the passage reveals more than a miracle of physical restoration. It unveils the identity and authority of the Son of Man. In him, forgiveness is declared, the burden of sin is lifted, and the authority of the kingdom is made visible before the eyes of Israel.